A couple of months ago, KFC announced that they were expanding an offering of theirs that's not exactly popular. In fact, it wasn't popular to anybody who's tried it, but they're defying market forces anyway and expanding these unpopular fast food offerings. So, what are they doing? Well, last year, KFC experimented with Beyond Fried Chicken, a sort of gray and textureless breaded fried chicken alternative. It came and went in 2021, then came back again this year and has been back since the start of the year, with expanded offerings being put on the menu. So, who is exactly eating this stuff? Honestly, I have no idea, but eating fake meat alternatives is definitely a suburban and urban middle and upper class kind of thing, for the most part anyway, and that's not the economic demographic that typically goes to KFC. If you've never seen this stuff, well, here's what it looks like. Yeah, those breaded fried erasers are actually Beyond Chicken. I'm sure you think that looks appetizing and are now contemplating renouncing your carnivore or keto lifestyle like I am, so you can eat some of that mystery fake meat that probably tastes vaguely like food. But it's not actually a mystery fake meat. We know what it's made out of. On your screen is the picture of the rather extensive and exhaustive ingredients list. And yes, it is extensive. Pro tip: if you're in a position where you have to eat something processed, either just fast instead, or at least try to keep it to something with a short ingredients list. KFC Beyond Chicken has a lot of plant proteins, and plant proteins are not exactly a very good protein. But these things also have something the nutrition authorities assure us are good for you and in abundance. Seed oils, lots of them. By my count, there are two different seed oils: sunflower seed oil and canola oil, as well as coconut oil, dextrose, and various versions of soy. And that doesn't count also the fact they're frying them in canola oil. Does that sound like something a human being should eat? No, not to me, but the best part of this is that KFC is actually charging $1 more than the normal chicken versions of these menu items. But I think my favorite part of this is that KFC's website tells us that these are neither vegetarian nor vegan. Now, why would that be? Because they cook them in the same fryers as their regular chicken. So to be clear, KFC is serving a protein that is only attractive to vegans and vegetarians, but then they cook them in a way that would keep them from buying their product. Honestly, that's pretty amazing. I love that. The website The Ethical Butcher describes this entire problem perfectly, though, by focusing on the ingredients list. Quote, that's quite a list. At least there's some artificial vitamins added to make up for the lack of real natural nutrients and sheer amount of anti-nutrients that are in this mixture. Herein lies our gripe. This highly processed whatever is totally disconnected from nature, is highly processed, and it takes production away from independent farmers, and is certainly not an improvement on human health or environmental destruction, being mostly composed of industrial monocrops. The consumer is not winning. KFC and Beyond Meats are winning. To use the title of Jane Buxton's book, this is a great plant-based con, and for now at least, people are lapping it up at $1 more than the real thing. End quote. That's not a new story exactly, but I'm using that as a segue here because KFC is not the only one doing this. There's a concerted effort to create a replacement for chicken in laboratory settings to replace the most popular meat offering in the United States. Chicken sells more than any other type of meat in America for a variety of reasons, including costs and the anti-saturated fat gaslighting that's been going on for decades in this country. But feast your eyes on this, folks. That is fake, boneless, skinless chicken breast, created in a lab and made of plant proteins. The story comes from where else but Veg News. Headline: the skinless chicken breast gets a vegan makeover. Swiss startup Planted Foods just raised $72 million to bring a skinless vegan chicken breast to market, joining other plant-based companies worldwide working to remake the whole-cut meat. As you're about to see, this stuff is a frankenfood. It is the textbook definition of a frankenfood. From the article, quote, a new era of skinless chicken breast made without the bird is unfolding for the benefit of humans, animals, and the environment. This week, Switzerland-based company Planted Foods raised $72 million in venture capital funding to grow its plant-based meat company, with particular focus on whole cuts of meat, such as skinless chicken breasts. The company currently makes plant-based chicken pieces, pulled pork, kebab, and schnitzel, which it distributes in more than 4,000 European retail locations and 3,000 restaurants. Planted uses a technology called, quote-unquote, biostructuring to produce its minimally processed vegan meats that start with proteins extracted from plants and elongated through wet extrusion before being put through a fermentation process. To perfect its revolutionary vegan chicken breast, which is made with yellow pea protein, Plant had worked with acclaimed German chef Tim Rao, who will be putting the whole cut protein on the menu of his eponymously named 2 Michelin star restaurant in Berlin starting September 15th. Just a few days from now, folks, go fly to Berlin to get yourself some of this fake stuff. The planted vegan chicken breast will initially be available through restaurants and is slated to hit retailers next year. End quote. I know you're thinking the same thing I am. Nothing says delicious like terms like biostructuring and elongated through wet extrusion to describe food. I love that they qualified those terms with minimally processed, which is nonsense. It's a little opposite of reality. Extracting protein from plants is a process that involves nasty chemicals that in many cases, like that yellow pea protein they're using, isn't legal to do in the US or Europe, so the process is outsourced to countries overseas with horrific records on things like the environment, human rights, and freedom in general. Yet those values take a back seat when it comes to animal welfare and their phantom problems with the physical world. And despite the fact that most people don't want this stuff, there is enough demand that when these companies launched direct website sales of their products, guess what happened? The sites sold out of the product in 24 hours. Now, that having been said, the Veg News article making that claim didn't provide the information about relative amounts of available human slop for sale on their website, or who bought it, or if there were large sales being done by a few people. We're just told that it sold out on their site in 24 hours on both launches of that mystery meat product. It turns out there are a lot of companies, by the way, pushing this, as if they expect a huge increase in demand soon. Keep that in mind, because I'm going to tell you tomorrow about the plan being debated by the Scottish government and a similar plan that is currently being discussed by Canadian authorities to phase meat out by 2040 or reduce your total consumption by 80% to like 1 4-ounce serving once a week. It's almost as if these products are being made with the idea that we won't have anything else to eat in the near future. That's food for thought, if you'll excuse the expression. Check that video out tomorrow and let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, please. Is KFC preparing for the future? How about Planted? Are they privy to information we don't have, or is this just a purely profit-driven thing, since these products are actually pretty cheap to make once you scale the process of production up to the levels needed to meet what they expect to be market demand? So let me know in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help, as does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot as well. I'm Anthony Stine, and thank you for watching today.